All right, so let me get this a little bit straighter. There we go. So we're gonna be chopping up some of these masks. We're gonna see what's inside of them. So we did that fit check. We noticed a lot of them had issues around the nose area. Pretty much all of them. Some of them let blow by through quite a bit. The best ones were the N95s, of course. A lot of those have valves, so that's an issue. What we're looking for is a non-woven blown fabric, which is this stuff right here. This stuff is what is in N95s, HEPA filters, stuff like that. So we're going to start cutting these bad boys open. So this is a pre-pandemic N95. Take a slice right out of there. So what we have is we have a non-woven fabric layer right here, and then we have a plastic mesh. This is pretty nice. This keeps the moisture away. Another non-woven fabric. So you can see that right there. You can see the particles. Yeah, like it doesn't rip, and it doesn't rip straight down. It's okay. So we have 3 layers of non-woven fabric. Like all the fabric on here is non-woven, which is nice. So you got three layers of non-woven on this N95. So that, I'm sure, plays a pretty big role. Yeah, like this is non-woven. It's almost like a felt. So yeah, so that one's a pretty nice one. We're gonna take a look at this one. This one, by the way, is made by Moldex. 2300 N95, if you're looking it up. Don't get the ones with the valves, just because valves are bad for other people. Good for you. Makes it easier to breathe, but end of the day, you got to protect others. Now, with this one, this is the Bendall. So we have another protective layer. Nice. It's a really tight weave. Well, I guess, yeah, I can't say it's weave. It's non-woven, melt-blown, non-woven fabric. Another layer, yeah. Another layer, and this looks like a stiff layer, so it looks like it's got 2 to 3 layers. This is definitely non-woven material, but I don't think it's melt-blown. No, definitely not melt-blown. I mean, we have two layers of non-woven, so I mean that's pretty good. So both these have 2 layers. I'm not going to count this as a layer. This looks more like a tissue paper. Yeah, like it's not really together. I think it's like an absorption layer. So yeah, so both those N95s have layers in them. Next up, we're going to go for these KN95s. This one has the metal clip on the outside. We're going to pop this open and take a look. So these are from eBay. These are thicker than the ones I normally wear. So we have that, let's see, we have that fabric layer. It's pretty thin. Yeah, and then we have the non-woven. Yeah, you can see the threads go pretty much every which way on this. Another layer of non-woven. So that's a nice. So yeah, so this is pretty much the equivalent of an N95. It says KN95 on there. Ooh, this is a. So this has another layer that the N95s didn't have, and this actually looks like a thick cotton to help prevent moisture from getting into that layer. So if that layer gets, if the non-woven gets wet, then it's no good. So if you ever have an N95 or a KN95 get wet, it's junk. Just toss it in the garbage, pretty much. It's not worth it. So now we have the black KN95. I'm going to cut this bad boy open and take a look. This is also another one from eBay. I think these are 50 cents a piece. So let's see what we got here. So we got that black layer. Oh yeah. So we have at least two primary melt blown layers in this KN95 that 50 cents. Yep, and then we're seeing another one of those thicker fabric layers to keep moisture away from the primary filtration. And then you have a nice smooth surface for your face. So yeah, that KN95 is good. So like that whole shipment is good to go. So now we have the white KN95s. These are 25 cents a piece. So what we're looking for is like the standard. So the other ones we've all inspected had 2 layers of non-woven at least. So cut this bad boy out and take a look at what's actually holding it together. So these are 25 cents a piece. Let me pull a different chunk. Got the one with the lettering. Probably the greatest. Cut through right here. There we go. Alright, so we got the top layer. Yep, that's about the same as the other ones. And then we have, yep, that's definitely a non-woven layer. And then we've got another non-woven layer. Yeah. So the only difference between these white KN95s and these black ones is this thicker layer right here. So that thicker layer is pretty nice, but it's definitely not necessary. This one's got a layer in between the 2 melt blown layers. So if you can see this one, it's kind of hard to see, but it's definitely, you can look at the pattern. It's just random. So it's pretty much you're spraying stuff onto a base. There's no weaving, or there's no pattern to it. And you're looking for the layers that are inside. The outer layers, there's going to be a little bit of a pattern to it. So like the outer layer, you can see this was ran through a machine, and it's just a heat machine. So that's how they actually get these to stay together. So these outer layers, it's got a layer of like a plastic type material in there, and that everything just melts together really nice. So that seals it up. So there's no air that's moving through these holes. We took a look at that when we went through and did the fit test. So, well, that white KN95 doesn't have that water wicking capacity. It's still very nice for the price, and it also provides that protection. So you have the same protection there as the N95s. So that's good to know. We're going to cut up this medical mask. See what's inside this guy. Alright, so we have the outer layer. We got this thin, yep, that's the same as the inside of the other ones. And we got another thicker layer of the, yep, that's just one layer. The non-woven, the melt-blown non-woven material right here. So, and yeah, that there's another. So these all are pretty much melt-blown layers. It's just these thicker ones are what you're aiming for. These smaller ones, I mean, realistically, it's not going to filter much. Like, they have to be pretty thick. So, like, if you hold it up to the light, like, you can't see what's behind it. Versus these, you can see right through. The blue ones, you can see what's below there. Like, that's not going to filter anything. These guys are what you're going for. These are the actual filters. So, this medical mask has one layer of melt blown in there. It'll provide some support, but the problem with that is these leak through real bad around here. It doesn't conform to your face. It's not meant to conform to your face, where these are meant to actually bend out on the edges, and that's what makes a seal. So that's makes for a nice seal. So now we have these guys. These guys are right here. So this is actually a kid's reusable mask. It says it's washable, not intended for medical use. So I mean, this is the same as the adult size. I just grabbed the kid size for whatever reason. I don't know. Maybe they were cheaper or something. So let's cut this open and see what's inside. Ooh, what am I going through? Oh, it's got a little plasticky layer in there. Oh, what is that cheap thing in there? Okay, so one thing, all the other ones have metal nose pieces. These are just plastic. Which, I mean, that plastic's not going to do very much. And actually, I had a problem with this in my last video, if you noticed. Like, I couldn't get these noses to fit properly. On the medical ones, it looks... Oh, this is just a twist tie. Oh, that's all it is. It's just a twist tie on these medical grade ones. So that's probably why there's a small problem with the nose bridge. These KN95s and the N95s, they all have a thicker nose piece on there. So that's probably why they can form a little bit better. Oh yeah, so this is still not the greatest metal piece. Like, if you see this one, it's one solid piece of metal. It's gonna hold. This looks like it's like a double twist tie. It works, but obviously not the greatest. Alright, back to cutting up this guy. Yeah. Sorry for the sound effects. So we have one, we got 3 layers of very cheap fabric. If like this is not like a high thread count, it wouldn't be comfortable on a bed. It looks like it was probably a sheet at one time, but yeah, there's no non-woven, there's no protection in there. That thing is junk. Alright, so next up we have these 5-piece fashion masks, washable. Yeah, I mean, this is washable. You can get some protection from this, but you have to you have to always make sure it's got some electrostatic charge on there. Because if you imagine like rubbing your hair a whole bunch, and then like with a balloon, that builds up an electrostatic charge and it attracts stuff around it. It's the same deal with those. So anything cotton, it needs to have that charge on there. Otherwise, it's pretty much useless. Not for medical use. We'll see what's inside of them. All right, let's cut up the Imperial. There's something in there. It's not just cotton. So, we do have a non-woven fabric, like a layer in there, but it's not very thick. So this is really breathable, but it's not. You can wash this once or twice. That's about it. And it doesn't fit on your face very well. So like one of the other videos, you can see this did not make a good seal. So having that filter in there is kind of, it doesn't make sense because not a whole lot of air is going to be going through that filter. So like if you exhale, it's not going to be going in. Same way if you inhale, it's going to take the path of least resistance and just go around. So, and then we have this guy, which I can pretty much already see through. So we'll just cut this guy in half real quick. It's in here. Oh, yeah. Yeah, so this guy is just foam. It's like, it's an interesting material. But yeah, there's no protection in here. Yeah. No. Oh yeah, there's no way that's filtering anything. So, yeah, so it looks like the KN95s and the N95s have at least 2 layers of non-woven in there, like the thick layers of non-woven. The other masks, they don't fit very well. B, they don't have that filtration that you're looking for. And with this new virus coming up, it's just not going to happen very well. So, yeah, so these KN95s, I got these off eBay, 25 cents a piece. These black ones, 50 cents a piece. Black ones have an extra layer. They stick off your face. They hold their form a little bit better. These white ones, you can actually feel them breathing in and out. You can see that with one of my other test videos where you can actually feel it conforming to your face. And right now you're not going to get a fit check. But if everybody wears these, 80% of people have like the perfect fit and it actually works as an N95. The rest of the people, I mean, if everybody's wearing it, it's going to work. It's going to work great. But if nobody wears them, then it's benign. So we have to do a better job of wearing masks. 25 cents a piece, 50 cents a piece, KN95s off eBay. You just got to make sure you got to cut them open. So you can buy a 50 pack for $10, but you have to cut them open and you have to make sure it's got that non-woven layers in there. So as long as it's got those non-woven layers, you should be good. So, all right.